I'm going to do it around here, so if you're interested in line printing, come gather around here. It might be more of a general introduction talk, a bit of inspiration. So with my Tuesday class, I've been doing lino last month, and I thought I'd do it this month with this class. So last year, like the projects I did last year, that was the print I did last year. Just did the geese there, and I was quite happy with it. But it was a bit overcomplicated. I thought maybe for some people, if you're just starting out, it might be better to start a little bit simpler. And that was my inspiration. So that one was like multicolour. But I'm thinking perhaps start maybe start with a white start with this. So I've got a few different bits to show you. So these were a couple of pictures. Basically, I've tried to start a little collection of inspiration images. So this is I'm basically just put stuff in here. It's a mixture of people's prints, that's Shelley's, that's yours, Marcia, do cards and things like that. So it's just a few ideas. That was a Christmas card somebody sent me. Hiya. I'm doing a little bit of a talk on lino printing, so if you're interested in that. So yeah, I just thought sometimes it's quite nice just to have a few, that's not actually a lino print, but it could be interpreted from lino. Yeah. So this one is the one I've been working on this year. So basically, it was that that was my photo, so it's fine to give it a go as a lino print. So I started. So that was like the first cut. Well, there's a couple of ideas you could do. So these, but I've got since last year I bought a couple of books. I've got that one and this one. And both of them sort of suggest maybe doing like one of these little trial prints where you're just kind of testing out the cutters, testing out your abilities. And it's not a bad idea actually before you leap into doing your print. And so I started my own version of that, which is this. And I've basically just tried, some of these have been just like copying little bits out of other people's prints, just out of interest. But it's a way of just trying different cutters out, different designs. So this bit here, I was thinking, this one, I quite like these little birds. So I'm thinking, well, and it's a way of just sort of having a look and trying to analyse how they've done something. So I thought, well, then if you copy the whole thing, just copy a little detail. Maybe a little detail here, a little detail there. And just build up, you know, a resource of ways of making marks and that sort of thing. So that's a suggested exercise if you want to have a go at that. So that's how far I got with that, with the Tuesday group, and then printed that much so far. And then the sort of project, as I say, inspired by that. So I started with just sketching, just trying to sketch out a few ideas. So I started with that, and then drew around tried to plan how it would. I still wasn't quite sure how it was going to look as a print, so I thought, well, I'll try it using black paper and then drawing with white chalk, because I thought it might be a little bit closer to how the print turns out. So that was my idea there, just trying different things. So if anybody wants a bit of black paper, you can come over there. But to start with, it's quite a good idea perhaps to do a bit of sketching, just to have a bit of an idea of what you want to do. And then the actual print itself, started at that. And then I decided to cut a little bit more away. So I think in this one I cut through, I think I cut a bit more in the sky in that one. That one I cut even more through the sky, and then I started cutting through some of these. They didn't quite make sense. And now I started, I think I added a few more of the shells down the bottom. That was the final version, where as well as going around this way, I did some rays coming out here. So it just kind of, and then I tried to make them look more like individual shells.
So you get more detail.
Well, yeah. The nice thing about printing is you can do something, see how it looks, and we'll kind of improve it. Perhaps maybe do a couple of proof prints. You can always sort of scribble on these and maybe redo the bits if you want, just to visualise how it might look. And then we tried a little bit of colour, just rolling it with different colours then, trying different colours. So it's still one plate, but I just rolled a bit of green ink and a bit of red ink. And that was how it looked as a card, greetings card. There were some blank cards there from some greetings cards. One student brought some blank, gave some blank cards. And this was just trying a little bit of actually just painting a bit of colour on first in certain areas and then print over the top. So it's really just to explore where you can go with, you know, just one plate, but just seeing where you can go with it.
Is it easier to do the straight bits than round bits? I might have to try that.
Yeah, I think so. I'll show you a few things about cutting them. So I'll just do a bit on here. These can be quite useful, these like bench hooks, just because you can, it might be better also to have an edge there. But what you really need to do is cut away from yourself and have your fingers back here. So if I was cutting this bit, and sometimes it helps to just turn it around, set it upside down. So this one here, this was like one of these little details here. I think this bit I want to cut away. So just have your fingers behind, or you know, use that.
Yeah, you get sloppy and
Yeah, I remember Kate cutting herself.
You got plaster.
Yeah, I don't think I've got any plasters with me, so. So yeah, do be careful. Yeah, just keep turning it.
It's tricky to get. It's tricky.
Yeah, you kind of have to. So this line, it's like a plastic. I should have a bit of the traditional stuff somewhere.
It's a bit straight knife. I didn't realise it was a scoop.
No, yeah, it's like a little V shape. So you've got different cutter shapes. Like that one is more of a U shape. Let's do a little bit with that one. And some of these got a little bit of blunt on them. Yeah, it does get whoops, and it's very easy to slip. That's why it's quite a nice idea to do a little test the print. Yeah, this particular line, because it's plastic, it's actually very easy to cut, but the last bit you sometimes have to just rip it off.
Did you draw onto that for, after you've done your sketching, Paul?
Yeah, what I've done is, now some of the soft bits, you've got some soft bits stuff in here, and yours is a bit lighter in colour.
Yeah.
These are from Sea White, and these are, if you want any of these, the little ones are 70p, and the bigger ones are £1.40. But they are quite a bit more in the shops, I think. So I'll just get those, but they are a little bit dark. So I've drawn on with a pencil, just kind of sketch. Yeah, you can kind of sketch it on, but it's maybe a little bit difficult to see. You can see it in certain light, but it's probably easier to draw on with a pencil, and then perhaps use a fine liner. And these marks will stay on. Just kind of trace over your marks.
I've got a pastel pencil. Is that no good?
I think it will come on.
Yeah.
So, if I've got one. We can try. Oh no, that'll right. Yeah, that'll probably work. Yeah. So that's the pastel pencil. That's that's not too bad, is it? Yeah, that'll probably work. The other pens I've got are these, but these are acrylic pens. And this one worked. The white one was quite good, but it stopped. And I don't know if this one still works. Oh yeah, that would work. Yeah, so you could draw on with something like an acrylic pen.
They're nice.
Yeah. These was I got given these some sort of competition I took part in. Yeah, so you're welcome to use any of this sort of thing. But yeah, I think you'll find it's easier to sketch out a bit with a pencil and trace over the lines. You could just draw with a knife if you want, or with the cutters. But I feel a bit more confident to start with just sketching something out. This I've got this woman's name. I think her name was Angela, and I found her like a YouTube interview with her, and she said that they are quite big lino prints, and she just goes straight in, maybe sketches a bit on the lino and then goes straight in. But I think she's very confident, been doing it a long time. As I say, I think these are probably quite nice exercises just to get you familiar with the tools. And as I say, keep turning the tools. This little V-shaped one seems to work quite well. some of these, that's a slightly deeper V shape. Let's try that. Yeah, that's fine. So actually, yeah, just trying out a few of the different tools is a good idea to start with. And you can just keep turning it like that. And then, yeah, just pull the last bit off. So this is like a modern type of stuff. Traditional is made, I've lost me a little bit traditional line, I'll probably turn that. You got it, yeah.
It's really hard.
It's hard to cut.
Oh yeah, that used to be on the floor. That
So
stuff
you
that
end
used
up
to be on the
making
floor in the
mistakes.
bedroom
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when I first started lino printing, this existed. It's like the 1980s.
Yeah.
This is definitely much easier to cut. The only thing is you have to just pull these little bits off, whereas traditional lino will just crumble.
It was hard.
So traditional lino is made out of like cork, ground up, and then linseed oil, and then squashed onto hessian. With your traditional stuff, if you heat it up, like leave it on the radiator, it goes nice and goes a lot softer. It's like
Oh, that's
What about finally?
sorry,
What about finally?
I've never tried it, so I couldn't say. But if you got some that you want to try,
Some on the gas.
yeah. But that would be that'd be my suggestion. I can roll a little bit of this up and just show you the inking process as well.
We take with my camera. We take some photographs of your book, pictures. of
Yeah,
your
yeah,
books,
sure. Yeah,
and then
yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah,
put it on my
definitely. Yeah,
computer.
yeah. So that's like doing a little bit of cutting. I'll do a little bit of printing. So you just need something like a tray, or even just a piece of plastic like this. It's fine to put the ink on. Just sort of nice smooth surface or
What sort of
glass
ink then,
or
Paul?
tiles.
Is it special? Is it permanent ink or what sort of ink?
It's not permanent ink. So these are most of these I got from CY. These ones I got last year from CY, and they're fairly inexpensive. It didn't cost a lot to get these, so you're very welcome to use any of these. And there's also, I think that these are sort of older inks. I've got a few individual tubes left from many years ago, probably 30, 40 years ago. And we used some of those last year, and some of those still working. But they're rare ones, so perhaps a bit better.
Because they're not like calligraphy inks. They're like
No, I'll show you what it's like when
Yeah.
it comes out. So I'll just do a bit of black. You kind of squeeze it out like that. And then, yeah, so we've got these rollers. You could use a big one, but I'll just use a little one for this. I've read these, or I've read one of these books recently, that one I read. What she says in here is to be careful not to over-ink the plate. So when you're inking up, if you're ready to ink up, and you don't have to get to this stage today, we can do this another week. I find that you want something like a bit of newspaper underneath. Stick that there for safety. And then with the ink itself, put a bit out like that, and you just want to get a nice even coating on the roller. So if you just land in it and then just keep rolling it backwards and keep lifting it, then you're inking up another bit of the roller each time. Once you've done it a few times, then go back and forwards. So just a nice even coating now. I feel like I've got a bit of something messy there. These aren't the best of trays, just some I acquired from somewhere on it. I don't know if they've got them in my collection. But anything that's a smooth surface work. And then, yeah, sometimes you get like a sort of just a slightly sticky sound. And that seems to me to be about when to put them on. What you usually find is the first print won't print quite as well, so you can kind of print it and then maybe do another one, then roll it up again. So I'll just do the bits that I've...
It's not very runny or anything, is it?
No, it's not. No, it's quite a stiff ink. Yeah, stick a bit more ink up. But you just got to be careful not to over ink, otherwise it fills all the little lines. And this one here, I was really just trying to see how thin I could make the lines really. And I actually managed a lot thinner than I imagined you could do. So that was a bit of a revelation to me doing it this time. So that's fairly sort of big line, so that'll print all right. So that's that bit, and then some sort of paper. this is just ordinary cartridge paper. You can use, I did have some sort of printer paper, photocopier paper somewhere, and that's fine for just doing preprints. You're best printing on something that's fairly smooth, so you don't want like a watercolour textured paper. Just a nice smoothish paper seems to work fairly well. Actually, the best thing is then to take away your newspaper. I don't think I've gone over, but sometimes you go over and then the ink will come from the newspaper on some paper. So it's best to have like somewhere to roll the ink up and somewhere to print it if you can manage that. And then that will go in there. And then, I mean, some people have printing presses and they've got some way of putting pressure on them. You can just do it with your hands like that, and then use a spoon. It can be a wooden spoon or a metal spoon, but a wooden spoon won't get quite so hot. This one's getting nicely polished. And this gives you a bit more pressure then. You just put pressure on one particular place.
I've got wooden spoons.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
You're away. All the
Not with me though.
no, but you can use this one. I like this kind of printing because it's really minimal, the kit that you need. You need some bit of ink and some rollers. And
Yeah, it's fun.
it's quite a nice, it's the only kind of printmaking I've ever really managed to pursue really for myself.
The only thing I think if I did a second coat, I don't think I'd line it up exactly, you see.
There's ways of doing it. I'll do that another week. Yeah, there's ways of doing that. So once you've got it rolled out, you can just sort of check the corners, see how well it's printed. There's a little bit under printed there, so I'll go over it again, but that might be as much as I can get off the first
Kids
print.
would like this, it's like magic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And actually you can do, I mean with children, you can do a simpler print. It's a bit like potato printing you do at school.
Yeah.
And when I used to run the mental health project courses, we used to have like foam, like very thin, bit like, you know, like pizza bases used to be, like with foam, and you can just kind of draw into it with a biro or just cut it with a knife or something like that. But they're cruder prints, but it is a way of producing a little print. So yeah, that's probably as good as it goes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to put fairly dense.
You've got your fine lines there, haven't you?
Yeah, so that's come out fairly nicely, isn't it? Yeah.
It's great.
So, yeah, so that's a
Ooh.
bit of an
Quite exciting,
introduction. If anybody fancies it. If anybody wants to have a go,
I wish I brought my wooden spoon.
Yeah, anyway.
to share the spoon. To be honest, if you're trying, you know, maybe some designs or some cutting, you probably may not get that further than today. You're welcome to use any of the tools we've got. Those two seem to be pretty good at cutting. You've got these sort of handles with different shape cutters, and there's a few of these like that. There's a box somewhere which with extra nibs or cutters. I don't know, I'll find it in a minute. It's like a match box. But yeah, there's a fair few cutters there. As I say, these are £1.40, or if you want a smaller one, the 70p, or we can cut some of these in half if you want something smaller. And you're very welcome to use all the ink, rollers and trays. Oh, that's the nib cutters, that's the spec.
If you're doing it at home, how would you wash it up? Is it just hot soapy water or?
Yeah, what I usually do is there's usually a palette knife in there. What I normally do is just scrape off this onto a bit of newspaper and chuck that, and then you can just wash it under water. But it just saves washing tons of ink off. Just scrape a bit off with a palette knife, pop it on a bit off.
So to dry like acrylic, does it dry?
No. It doesn't. It's water based and water soluble, so it still would be water soluble. So these inks are water based inks. You can get an oil based ink that will dry permanently, but I tend to use the water based one, particularly here. The oil based ones take quite a long time to dry, so you're going to end up with a lot of wet prints to take home. These, in this sort of environment, I think this works better. But you can buy oil based inks. And then the advantage of those is you could then do a bit of watercolour over the top if you wanted and colour little bits in. and the oil would resist the watercolour sort of thing. But these, they'll dry to the touch, but it's a bit like a watercolour. If you got more water on it, it would dissolve.
So you'd have to put it in a bit of glass or something if we give them to someone.
Yeah, if you're showing it, stick it in, get a frame with glass in it.
How long would that take to dry?
Oh, not long. That bit's fairly dry. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, it's fairly quick. Yeah, we've got the hairdryer. I can just do it with the hairdryer. It's over there.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay, so if anybody wants to go, it's all.
I'm gonna get a camera and take some pictures.
Yeah,
or
sure,
something.
yeah.
What I'll do.
I've got a copy of this book.
Have you? Yeah.
Which is with me, so if anyone
Yeah.
else wants to look at it, I'm probably looking at it today particularly. So
Oh,
feel
great.
free to
Good.
borrow it.
Oh, you're not looking at it yourself?
No, I've looked at it and
Hmm.
I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah.
You're advanced class.
Well, no.
Well, yeah, I mean, you had quite a good go last year, didn't you?
Yeah.
So quite a bit, and you've shown your lino prints, haven't you?
No,
Didn't you?
no,
Did you
no.
get work in the Beecroft? Was that lino
Not for
print?
lino print, no.
Oh, was it not?
Oh God, no. No, mine was next to a nice lino print.
Oh, yeah, right. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Oh, no, that's it. Anyway, yeah, no, if you want to know there's some.
You're going for a big one.
Just
Big
a
one, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I might do one.
Yeah.
it's so
Was it
thick,
what
aren't
we
they?
were
I wasn't expecting it to be that thick.
Yeah.
Have you done this before? No. No,
Yeah.
no. And I'm not convinced. Oh, I'm going to be.
Yeah.